AITA for not trying harder to let my ex know our son passed. Sorry for any layout issues, I am on my phone. Also, throwaway as my ex follows my main. Both myself, F, and my partner, M, were 28 when I found out I was pregnant. Together 4 years. Personally, I didn't want the child. My work was offering potential advances within my position and he was excited for it. But after a lot of talking, we decided to go forward with it. When I was around 20 weeks, just after finding out the gender, he disappeared. I couldn't contact him. He wouldn't answer the phone or messages. I got worried and messaged his mother and found out he was living back with her and was overwhelmed with the situation. He kept paying his part of the bills over to my bank each month, but I received no contact. I even tried going over, nothing. By about 27 weeks I gave up trying, gave up crying and just got on with what I thought was a future AITA single mother. I brought everything needed over the next couple of weeks and set it all up. At 31 weeks I started having pains, but put it down to Braxton Hicks. Just before 32 weeks my waters went and I went into labor, with the baby coming very quickly. He went straight to NICU. I messaged and rang my ex and his mother, no response. Less than a week later, my son passed due to complications of early birth. I again tried to contact my ex and his mother. Left voicemails and messages. Nothing. The next few weeks were a blur, but with the help of my mother and father his funeral was arranged. They tried to contact ex and his mother also, still. Nothing. I sent more messages, nothing. I'm assuming we were probably all blocked, but honestly at that point I didn't care. I was so broken. His funeral came and went. It was beautiful and horrible. I stopped messaging and told my family not to bother after the funeral had passed. I couldn't deal with it anymore. About 5 months after his death my ex turned up. Let himself in. I wasn't at home, but when I got back he was instantly hostile. The flat was clearly not set up for nor accommodating a small child. He demanded to see his son. I broke down and told him what happened. I have never seen him so sad and angry. He stormed out, slamming the door on his way out. Within half an hour I got a nasty call from his mother, followed by messages from siblings, other family. How dare I not let them know something so serious? How could I hide something like that out of petty spite? I truly didn't. I tried. But I couldn't keep trying. It's been nearly 3 weeks now of them being awful. I was speaking to my sister this weekend and she said, TBF, it was a bit of a ick move to not keep trying. They deserved to know, was it? I tried so hard to let him know, but I was struggling so hard too. I lost my son too. AITA? Should I have done more? Edit. Thank you all so much for your responses. Sorry for not replying to any. Reading them has been a lot. Honestly, I'm going to drink a bottle of wine, or two, read your kind responses and cry myself to sleep. Writing this all out and living it again has been hard. Unfortunately I'm not able to change the locks. Landlord said no, but my tenancy ends on the 12th of June and I already have a new flat to move into. And thankfully my dad has been able to cover the cost of a private therapist and I see her again Tuesday. Thank you all so much again for your kind words. Second edit. If I had realized this was going to blow up so much then I probably would have just posted to my main. If you see this post anyway, read it Lewis. Then read it again. Then read the comments. Then just leave me alone. Thank you all for your comments. I'm going to show my therapist the post when I see her and talk it through, but honestly it has helped a lot. Even if I did cry quite a bit. I'm going to sleep now and won't be back on this post. But thank you all Heartsuit. AITA for not having sweets in the house for my niece who's under my care. I, 27F, have been the guardian of my niece Zoe, 9, for almost a year since my brother and Sil passed away. I work full-time in a relatively high-stress job. Ever since I was 24 I've been on a low-carb diet. It's obviously not for everybody but I feel better not consuming so much carb and sugar. It helps with my weight, concentration, and energy level. My diet consists mostly of meat served with fruits and vegetables, but if I crave a slice of pizza or a helping of pad thai every now and then I don't beat myself over it. When Zoe came to live with me, I made sure to have carbs for her meals, mostly rice and potatoes. I also take us out to eat once or twice a week so we can explore different cuisines and local offerings. She has lunch at her school and I give her a small allowance so she can buy whatever she likes within that budget. What I don't have in my home is dessert. I used Toastoxum when Zoe first came live with me and would give her a small serving after her meal while I had some fruits. A few weeks of that and Zoe asked why I didn't eat any dessert with her and I told her for me fruits are yummier and healthier. Not long after she stopped me from buying more funny things sweet when I took her grocery shopping and said she would have just fruits, too, like me. I tried to serve her some dessert we had at her next meal but she refused. A few more times of that Andy stopped offering and gave her fruits instead. Zoe and I still enjoy dessert when we go out to eat. Nafe is one of our favorites. A few days ago, a mom from Zoe's after-school club called me. She told me she brought butterscotch pies to the club and everyone enjoyed a piece, including Zoe. A lot of kids left school early that day so there was a lot of leftover pie and she offered to pack it up for everyone there to take home. All the kids took some, but Zoe didn't and told her we don't really have dessert at home. She was concerned that I was setting Zoe up for an eating disorder and that kids deserve to have something sweet in the house. I told her how it was Zoe's choice to not have dessert, so I just stopped stocking them. I also told her I know Zoe occasionally bought sweets at school, so there's no need to add more sugar content to her home food. She said it was not right for me to set a low-carb diet lifestyle as an example for Zoe when she's still so young and should not be restricted from eating anything. Again, I told her that Zoe can have anything she wants and I would gladly provide any food for her, but she argued that eating is a social thing and by seeing me abstaining from sweets, Zoe would do the same to feel like she belongs. I'm quite confused about this. I know from a rough nutrition estimate that Zoe is getting what she needs. She is rarely sick and her martial arts instructor says she's an active and enthusiastic student. I also don't think I should compromise my own chosen diet so my niece can have dessert at home. AITA? AITA for telling the truth about my 18th birthday and embarrassing my father to his university friends? So, bluntly, I, 20 meters, was an unwanted child. A whoops pregnancy that my parents were too religious to abort. As a result, I pretty much raised myself until I was kicked out at 18. I won't lie, I thought being rejected by the people who were supposed to love me, but I'm at peace with it. With that tragic backstory TM out of the way, about 6 months ago, my parents reached out and started by apologizing profusely. I wasn't sure about getting back in contact, but they seemed genuine, so I tentatively went ahead. Things were going well, until invited me to meet up in person. I showed up at the restaurant expecting a quiet dinner and a heart-to-heart. Instead I found out that my father's fraternity had rented out the whole AMN place for a 25-year reunion. He met me at the door and told me to act like we're a happy family in front of his old friends. I, being hungry as hell at this point, made a beeline for the buffet. He promised me dinner, and by God I was going to have it. I tried to blend into the background, until I got chatting with some other folks my age, my father's friends' kids I assume. They started talking about their parents and I nodded and smiled along. Then I was directly asked what I got for my 18th birthday, and I didn't know what to say, so I defaulted to truth. So, what did your parents get you for your 18th? I got kicked out. Cue awkward silence. Oh my God, are you okay? That sounds awful. Yeah, I'm fine. I just moved in with my aunt while I go to my college. Where do y'all go? They then got to gossiping about their schools. Andy made myself scarce shortly afterwards. Later that night, my father started blowing up my phone, admonishing me for embarrassing him. Apparently, what I said had gotten back to my father's friends who are now being very cold to my father. He was angry with me because it wouldn't have been a big deal to just lie and save face, and now he's in hot water with his university friends. I muted him and went to bed. I was sure that I was in the right here, but now I'm having doubts. I'm worried that my parents might not want to keep in contact after I basically threw a monkey wrench into his relationships with his university friends. So, AITA? AITA for not giving my Sil a heads up about our pregnancy announcement and calling her H? I, 29F, and my fiance Dan, 29 meters, are expecting I am 24 weeks pregnant. I have mostly been wearing baggage clothing to hide the bump, especially with my history of miscarriages. My Sil Jess, 27F, is infertile. My heart hurts for her. But the way my in-laws handle it in my opinion is pathetic. You can't have pregnancy announcements. No children under 5 can attend family events. Despite her rules recently, me and Dan both agreed it was time to announce the pregnancy. We both agreed that we would do a surprise gender reveal. We had the doctor give us an envelope on what the gender was last appointment. We hosted a gathering where we would announce it, and also had the party for the gender reveal when Sil arrived her and her husband. When she found out, Shay was angry and asked me why I didn't give her a heads up. And I know how she feels about this. I told her I don't have to tell her anything and that she didn't have to be such a itch about it. She stormed out and has been ghosting me, and I am blocked on all of her socials. So am I an SS hole?